are a lot of great stories out there.
There's also a lot of great stories that could be better.
From bad pacing to interesting plot decisions, some stories could just benefit from a little more time in the oven.
And in those cases, we like to crack them open to see how we might have done things differently. So grab a wrench and some duct tape, because this is Bullet Soon.
And welcome to the workshop, Pretty Cure Edition.
At this point, I'd wager that Pretty Cure needs no introduction. It's like the biggest magical girl thing, aside from, you know.
And that's for good reason. It really resonated with a lot of kids. Back then.
But the game's changed since then. East and West alike, the world of children's entertainment has been on the climb in quality for a while. And Pretty Cure, as a franchise, has actually been a pretty good example of that. Over the years, newer iterations have improved on the original formula in plenty of ways. Kinda necessary if they want to keep selling toys.
But we're not here to talk about any of the newer ones. We're here to talk about the OG, which,
is very 2004.
Yeah, and not in a charming kind of way, really. I mean, when you look back at some of the stuff you used to watch as a kid, you might cringe a little, but usually there's that feeling of nostalgia.
We grew up on this series, somehow, and this wasn't that. It had its high points, but, well, we're in the workshop for a reason, okay? Let's just rip the Band-Aid off and see how adult Rila and Riley would give Tariwa Pretty Cure a little update.
So, here's the thing. As much as I love it, Pretty Cure has a lot of problems.
But the one we're gonna focus on here is how damned repetitive it is.
You'd think that when you end every fight the exact same way, the enemies would start to catch on. But nope. Nagisa and Honoka win all but, 3 fights with the marble screw.
Or the Rainbow Storm, which is just a boosted marble screw.
And look, we know. But Rila, it's a kid's show. You gotta have your big finisher attacks. Yeah, you're right. You'll get no argument from me. Part of the point of shows like this is to get kids to fantasize about being the characters, shouting the special moves of their favorite magical girls or shonen jump heroes on the playground.
But I have a question for you. How many moves does Pikachu have? Yeah, 4. And that's just all the moves Pikachu has at any given time. Ash's Pikachu has had over a dozen moves throughout the entire series.
Nagisa and Honoka have 3. But one of them only shows up once or twice, and the other 2 are basically the same move.
And helping none of this is the fact that the moves are always used the same way and have the same animation almost every time.
Compare that to something like Dragon Ball. Yes, the Kamehameha is probably the most famous move in anything ever. But have you noticed that Goku pretty much never uses it the same way twice?
Pretty good reason for that. If he did, it'd be boring as hell. And that's the exact pitfall that Pretty Cure winds up falling into.
But that's okay, because here in the Platoon Workshop, we have the technology.
Even better, we have solutions. Alright, so if we're going to be fixing the problem of Pretty Cure's repetitive loop, then we're gonna have to start from the root of the problem, the marble screw and the rainbow storm.
Like we said before, there's nothing wrong with having big, flashy, special finishing moves. In fact, we expect that. It's part of what makes this type of thing fun. The issue is that there's no variance from one episode to the next.
Nagisa and Honoka fight the bad guys at close range for a little bit, eventually see that it's not working, hold hands, shout the attack name, and boom. Same stock animation, usually the same voice lines, same result.
And this would be such an easy thing to fix too. Just don't recycle the same sequence in every single episode.
Hell, the fact that they have to hold hands in order to use the move, while kinda silly, actually creates a lot of opportunities to do some really fun stuff with the sequence, because it would cause the girls to have to figure out ways to pull the move off with that limitation in mind, instead of just ignoring that limitation.
It'd allow you to create some circumstances where they can use the marble screw and the rainbow storm in creative new ways. I mean, let's just look at the obvious comparison.
Goku.
Really think about it. Everyone knows the Kamehameha, but try to remember all the most hype moments where Goku used it. The beam grinding Kamehameha and the Tournament of Power. the instant transmission Kamehameha against Perfect Cell.
Hell, firing the Kamehameha from his feet against Piccolo Jr. Even if you have only one finishing move, which Goku doesn't, by the way, he has a few, but more on that later, the times they stand out the most are the ones that are used the most creatively.
And Pretty Cure has to understand that because they actually did it. Once! In their last fight against Poisony. We never said the names were great here. They actually used the marble screw and sent it through her hair to beat her, once and for all. Pretty Cure, it was genuinely exciting, and they never did anything like that again.
Yeah, man. Let's see you use the marble screw in different forms, or in ways it's definitely not meant to be. Use it to drill into the ground for a subterranean attack, or use it to get some air. Fire off a wide one to act as a barrier. Hell, each of you fire it from different sides of the bad guy to sandwich them between it. Just get zany with it. It'd be way more fun in the end.
When it comes to Pretty Cure's action, the still use of the marble screw and the rainbow storm isn't the only problem.
Yeah. Another big one is that the marble screw and rainbow storm are almost always the solution. But Riley, it's a finishing move. They have to use it. Tell me something. If the finishing move is the only part that matters, then why bother having a whole-ass fight scene in front of it?
Wouldn't it make the finishing move even more special if it weren't needed every time? Absence makes the heart grow fonder and all that?
You've already got a pretty solid niche as the Magical Girl series where most of the magic is just hands. So, what's stopping you from letting the girls win some of the fights by just beating up the bad guys with good old-fashioned pugilism?
Frankly, the actual fighting is already kinda the best part. So why not let that bit take center stage more often?
It'd actually also be a solid way to amp up the impact of the battles. Physical fights have a way of making a fight feel more intimate and dramatic. Sure, the bombastic beam struggles and explosions are the highlights, but good choreography is what holds a fight together. And there's something about watching the characters actually beating the stuffing out of one another that really makes you feel for the characters.
I mean, it's sort of hard to fully wrap your head around the concept of being hit by a huge blast of ki or chakra or whatever, but everyone can understand a fist to the gut.
I can understand handing them out.
How generous of you.
What can I say? I'm a giver.
And ever so humble. Anyway, I think leaning into the physicality of the action would be a real plus for this series overall. Maybe in some situations, the marble screw or rainbow storm don't work.
But some knuckles to the chin do the trick just fine. Hey, you could even come up with a whole new suite of special moves where they enhance physical attacks or something with the same energy that the marble screw and rainbow storm use. That way, you can actually have your cake and eat it too. Everybody wins.
Well, everybody except whoever's on the receiving end.
Aside from the fact that the finishing moves are used in damn near every episode, and the fact that they're always used the same way, there's one other issue that makes the original Pretty Cure run into a monotonous slog.
They only have 2.5 moves.
What makes this extra frustrating is that the mechanism to fix this problem is right there.
When Nagisa and Honoka are chosen to become Pretty Cure, they're given Methyl and Nipple as devices that let them transform. But that's not all. They also get these cards to use.
3 of which are shown throughout the series to be attacks. The Marble Screw, Rainbow Therapy, which is only used like twice, and Rainbow Storm, which is just a better Marble Screw. They also use a few other cards that aren't attacks and are clearly there for taking care of Meppel and Mipple. Hey, this is still basically a big digital pet commercial, so...
But that's all! At most, we see maybe 8 cards before Pretty Cure Max Heart, and only 3 are actual attacks. Except we're shown that the girls got entire decks of cards, not just dinky little booster packs, so what gives?
We brought up the Pokemon example with Pikachu before because it's also a glorified toy and video game commercial for kids, and guess what? Sure, Pikachu might only have 4 moves at any given time, but Ash has 6 Pokemon per season, at least most of the time, each with 4 moves. In case you're not good at math, that's 24 moves for Ash alone, completely setting aside his other human friends.
But I hear you. We're talking about magical girls, so we should stick to comparisons with other magical girls. Fine. So let's compare this to Cardcaptor Sakura instead. I mean, come on. The whole point of that series is seeing her build up her arsenal by capturing more cards as the series goes on. In that series, like Pokemon is almost a decade older than Pretty Cure.
So what's stopping Pretty Cure from actually using more of the cards in that deck to create new moves for the girls?
I don't want to say lack of creativity, but
All in all, the original run of Pretty Cure is a mixed bag. I can see why it took off the way it did, but I think it's definitely been left in the dust even by its own successors.
it's super dated in a ton of ways, but the repetition is the one that jumped out at us the most.
We think that the best ways to fix that problem are fairly straightforward. Coming up with new, creative ways to execute your big finishers is something Shonen Jump in particular has been doing since, like, the dawn of time.
It's not just Goku either. Plenty of more recent series from Demon Slayer to Jujutsu Kaisen have been doing the same thing. Even in cases where a character might have tons of different finishing moves, like Luffy or Ichigo, that just gives them more moves to be creative with.
But we definitely do advocate for giving your characters more than one finishing move, especially if you already practically have a damn cheat code to implement something like that.
It makes the battles feel less two-dimensional when you have plenty of moves to choose from, and that creates this tension where you're wondering what moves they'll pull out in order to win, almost like a game of chess.
Contact chess?
No, stop. You're thinking about it. Stop thinking about it.
No promises.
Ugh, my sister's a brute.
A smart brute, thank you very much. But I do enjoy watching a good fight. Which brings us to the other thing. Don't be afraid to let a fight end without a special finishing move being the thing that ends it. As hype as those moments are, earn them. Lean into the physicality and the flow of battle itself. Maybe fake us out a few times. Then the finisher can come back at just that right time in some shocking way that'll get us up out of our seats. That's how you do it.
Well, that's how we do it anyway. But hey, it's like we said. Pretty Cure has a bunch of other things we would do differently. And if you liked hearing us talk about this one, then let us know and maybe we'll bring it right back here.
To the workshop. This has been Bullet Tune.
I'm Rila.
I'm Riley.
Thanks for watching.
Keep up the awesome and stay tuned!